So the question I get asked all the time is, we're already on 365 and using OneDrive. Do we really need a backup? Now, the answer isn't really a technical question, it's more of a business question. First, what is actually sitting in your Microsoft 365? It's not just files, it's emails, Teams conversation, SharePoint data, and shared documents. Second, what would it cost your business if that disappeared tomorrow? If the honest answer is that would really hurt, then yes, you need a backup. The reason this catches people out is because most people and businesses assume that Microsoft has already got it covered. I want you to consider it that Microsoft protects the safe and provides that safe, and you protect what's inside it. Microsoft is responsible for keeping the platform running, secure, and available, but your data is ultimately your responsibility. Microsoft does provide recovery tools, version history, and recycling bin, which are genuinely useful, but useful isn't the same as protected. Deleted files are retained for up to 93 days. Email data is retained for 14 days by default. If nobody notices a problem once those windows have passed, then recovery becomes much more difficult. So here's a good example. When someone leaves, the account gets removed, the license gets unassigned, and then the recovery window ends. Let's say later on down the line, a dispute arises and you need to access the sent box to someone's emails. In this situation, if you didn't have a 365 backup, then it would be much more difficult to get that data, if not impossible. So what about ransomware? When a ransomware attack happens, all of your company's files are encrypted, work stops, your brand can be at stake, money can be at stake, and it can cause a massive issue for a lot of businesses. Now, a backup isn't a silver bullet to protect you against a ransomware attack, but it's a critical control piece in part of a wider cybersecurity strategy. It does not stop attackers from publishing the data that they've already stolen, but what a backup does is it means that in the event of a ransomware attack, data can be restored to before the ransomware attack happened, and you don't necessarily need to pay an attacker to decrypt that information. So let's go back to the original question. Work out what is genuinely sitting in your Microsoft 365. For most businesses, it's far more than they realize, starting with every single email they've ever sent. Then ask yourself, what would it cost to lose it? Not just the files, but the time, the disruption, and the evidence you might need if something goes wrong. If that's a number that you'd rather not find out, then you need a backup. I'll go back to my analogy before. Microsoft provides the safe and keeps it secure. You're responsible for what's inside it.